Welcome to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. Today we're talking about batch 83 and batch 84, the May releases from Barrel King. Full disclaimer, like always, I am employed by Barrel King, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. Am I going to try to trick you and deceive you with things that I don't believe are true? No. I like to try to remain as credible as possible, but it's only fair for me to tell you that I'm associated with Barrel King before I tell you how much Barrel King friggin' rocks. And with that being said, let's get into these two blends for May 2024. If anything you hear today makes you want to acquire one of these or both of these bottles, then head on over to barrelking.com. The link is in the description below. Become a gold member and then you'll have access to my blends and access to all the Barrel King goodness. Typically I start with the bourbon, but let's flip it around, and today we'll start with batch 84 Barrel King Knighted Rye, titled I'm Not Old-Fashioned, You're Old-Fashioned. 117.4 proof. It is a blend of 8-year-old 95.5 MGP rye whiskey and 6-year-old 21% rye MGP bourbon. The blend was then finished in local Bourbon, Missouri maple syrup barrels, filthy cherry syrup barrels, and bitters barrels. So we are looking at a boo rye finished in a bunch of different bullshit. I did not have my hand in either of these two blends. These were Jared over at Barrel King working his magic. And I would imagine that this batch 84 is his take on a bottled barrel strength old fashioned. Now let's go for a nose. Wow. First thing you're gonna notice when you smell it is that this son bitch has definitely got some rye whiskey in it. The nose has a nice balance of sweet and spicy and has a bit of orange tang to it. Kind of reminds me of when I was a kid and my dad would come in from working in the barn and he'd wash his hands with that gritty, orange scented Gojo, like degreasing hand soap that smelled friggin' like dad. That's what my dad smelled like. Whiskey smells like dad, dad smells like whiskey. As I continue to smell it, the nose is kind of changing from like that orangey note more to like a spiced carrot cake. It's so good. All right, let's go for a sip. Batch 84, down the hizzy. Oh yeah, that's got some rye to it. 84, by the way, a pretty good year. Some would say a large man wearing a purple hammer shirt was born in that year. The palate is really well balanced, sweet on the front end, spicy on the back. It has a bit of a raisiny note to it, like a dark raisin. If you sprinkled some M&Ms into those raisins and then like some rye chips. It's like if Gardetto's made a rye chip raisin M&M trail mix. That is really good. Second sip. Second sip, I can definitely see the old-fashioned thought process on this. I can almost taste the bitters coming through. There's like a twist of citrus. I do love me a good old-fashioned, and I'm wondering what this would taste like on ice. Pour it over some ice, drop like 6 or 7 dozen cherries in it. Hells yeah, that'd be good. Also, I typically don't pair whiskey with food, but in this situation, I do think the batch 84 would be a tremendous pairing whiskey. Pair this with some like poultry or poetry, whatever you're into. I'm just thinking that that would go really well with a bird. If you're into carrot cake and rye forward old fashions, then batch 84 gonna be right up your alley. Now let's get to batch 83. 83 is a large batch that Jared has been working on for approximately a year. Its title, The Magnificent 7, Gun Show Cigar Blend. It is a blend of the 45% wheated mash bill from MGP 7-year and 9-year 21% rye MGP bourbon. It's finished in Willet Purple Top barrels, Stag barrels, OWA barrels, XO Brandy barrels, Sherry barrels, Cognac barrels, and Armagnac barrels. It's been around the block. And like I said, it's been a project of Jared's for about a year. I did nose and taste this earlier when I found out that dinner was cooking in my house, because I couldn't like taste this after dinner was cooked, because what if the cooked dinner messed up my taste buds and my nose buds? So before I even put my nose to this, I want to tell you this. This is ridiculously good. Like bonkers good. At least that's what I thought a couple hours ago. Let's go in for the nose again, shall we? The first thing I thought of when I nosed this was banana split. I don't think that there are like a ton of specific particular banana notes here, but the overall encompassing smell of a banana split, like they hand it to you out of a window in the world's fanciest banana split drive-thru, and they're like, here, this is it. And then you get it and you're like, hell yeah. Give me extra napkins because this is gonna get messy. It's like chocolatey frosting and like what I would imagine to be an assortment of anything chocolatey and sweet mixed with like red berries and just gloryful. It smells damn good. It's weird because when you see what barrels it was finished in, you can almost start smelling these like, oh, there's some Armagnac, there's some sherry. You know, it's like you can kind of pick up on things. This reminds me of a Joseph Magnus cigar blend from Bourbon, Missouri. Holy handbags, this thing's coming in clutch. Man, this smells good. I knew just smelling this that I was going to be like head over heels for it. And the last time I went head over heels was me falling down a hill. And by falling, I mean I was pushed hard by a bully. And then he followed me down the hill and kicked me in the nards. That son of a bitch. Anyway, let's go in for a taste. Batch 83. Gonna be inside of me. Oh, wow. The more and more I taste these projects from Barrel King that Jared has been working on for a while, the more and more I'm blown away, because every time I think they can't get better, he goes and does something like this. True story, true story. The first time I tasted this, I was sitting right here in this garage. Camera was not on. Should have been, but wasn't. I was in a hurry to taste it before the fumes of chicken voila reached my nose. I nosed it, I was like, good grief, and I tasted it, and the first things out of my mouth, sitting here by myself, was, it's beautiful. And agree to agree. It's like a spiced cherry chocolate cola. It like pops on the front of the palate with this sort of ginger ale-y note that's like kind of ding, and then it rolls to the back. We're gonna keep sipping it because I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. The Armagnac cognac comes out just for a second on the mid palate, like it peeps behind the curtain, like it's about to go on stage, wants to make sure there's asses in seats. It is a wonderful, wonderful pour. The finish just continues. I would imagine this is gonna be a great cigar whiskey. I honestly can't say enough good things about Batch 83. Batch 83 is for me. If this were in a Joseph Magnus cigar blend bottle, you would say, that is one hell of a batch of Joseph Magnus cigar blend. If you're already a Barrel King Gold member, 83 and 84, vastly different, but sure to please. Again, the link for Barrel King is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. What am I gonna look like with the bottom teeth that look like the front teeth? It's gonna be weird, right? I'm just gonna be a wall of fake teeth for a while until I get my permanent teeth. I'm all smiles over here, thanks to Batch 83 and 84 from Barrel King.